Saturday evening, which I don't do. And it's funny because all people, they'll be like, why are you on so late? Why do you go live so late? And I look at it, and it's one of those things that for me, the creative process kicks in late at night. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, and I guess it's just because it's just that time of day going towards the new day where I can just kind of relax and let my thoughts kind of gather and wander and start just reflecting and whatnot. But an awesome opportunity. And I had done a stream today with Jasper, and Jasper had interviewed Dan Dreyfus, who is the owner of Pie Grinders, and a wonderful shop, a wonderful restaurant. He actually has 3 locations here in Colorado Springs. And what I'll do is I'll share the video that was accomplished today by Jasper. I'll share that in the comments. But out because Dan has created an awesome opportunity. And if you haven't seen the video, I would highly suggest go check it out because it'll give you more information. But the cool thing is, because of everything that's taken place, he has set up a page to go and bid on some different pages. But the beautiful thing with this is the money that is collected for the bids, Dan's going to utilize it to give to a restaurant or business that's hurting because of what's taking place and whatnot. So what this does is it allows you to gain the gift cards, which you can go frequent a small business. You can go become a new customer or client of the business and have 2 ways to impact our community. One, go to the business and give them help allow them to give you their service, whatever it is. But then when you go and bid on the gift cards, if you win, all that money that's being collected off the bids are going back to a local business. And so it's just a circle of giving that is a beautiful thing to see. And grateful for Jasper being our sponsor with Two Native Sons, with Tabala, and Tabala's Food for Thought. And once that's up and running, going back to where they are producing food for the community, just an awesome thing. So grateful for Jasper. Shout out to Jasper for what she does, everything that she does and whatnot. But she's an individual that was able to open up that door to connect with Dan and learn a little bit about Dan. And the interesting thing is Pies and Grinders has been around since 2001. And this was the first time I've heard of the restaurant. And so it's a beautiful thing that I now know a new business to go and visit and end up receiving some delicious pizza. So I highly suggest you go check out his shops and just go check out the food. It's great food. Go try it for yourself. You'll see. But like I said, I'll put in the comments the link to that video so you can check it out. I believe the bidding ends tomorrow tomorrow, so Sunday at 7 p.m. So you do have some time, but there are also an opportunity for you. There's a donate button that you can go click and donate money. So maybe you don't want gift cards, but you can still donate, and Dan's able to utilize that money still to put into the money that's been collected to give to that business that he decides to choose to present that money to. And so it's just another way to support small businesses and to give back and just help out the community and whatnot. So just something to think about. It's a great opportunity for you to get involved, to help out and whatnot. And so it's interesting because this idea and what took place today, a couple different things I was looking through here, and this was Greatness is Upon You, the Eric Thomas book and whatnot. So one of the books I read. It's one of the many books that I have. So, but in here, he talked about, are setbacks merely setbacks for you or an opportunity for a comeback? And it's one of those things when you really, truly think about it. If you've had a setback in your life, if something hasn't gone right, maybe you created a business and it didn't work out. Maybe it just didn't take off like you thought it would. And so when you look at what took place, when you look at the aspect of that learning piece, have you taken the opportunity to look at that setback as an opportunity for you to create a comeback? Have you looked at that opportunity and did accomplish a deep dive to see what lessons you could learn from that situation? What opportunities you have that maybe at the time you weren't ready for it, or you were in a lot of pain emotionally, and so maybe at the time you weren't ready for it. And so you can go back and look at the situation and say, what did I learn from the situation? What can I take from that opportunity that took place and utilize it to create a new story or set up for that comeback for me to do something different, something bigger and better? And maybe at the time when you thought it was a great opportunity to do it, maybe you weren't ready for it. And so maybe you've gone through those pain points, overcame the obstacles, the challenges, overcome the emotional piece that you may have dealt with, because with setbacks, everybody is going to deal with them differently. But like I said, there's opportunities for growth and progression and lessons to take from it and learn from it to grow and do some big things and whatnot. But that's the thing too, though, that if you haven't done the work and you aren't ready to go back and look and potentially have to dig through the crap that took place to find that lesson, if you're not ready, I highly suggest potentially be mindful about not doing that yet. Do the growth, overcome, be at a point where if you do look back at the situation, it's not going to set you off. But that's also, it's a matter of working on yourself. It's a matter of being mindful of your mindset and setting yourself up to be able to go back to the past and do that digging and say, okay, what nugget is here? What diamond has developed from that pressure and from the garbage that was there? And what can I take from that situation and go forward and learn from it and become a better person? Or do you allow that situation that was a setback for you, and are you allowing that situation to determine who you are as an individual? Are you a person that instead of letting the emotions run their course, but you stay in control, you don't let the emotions control you? Are you at that point now where it's hard to move forward? Are you stuck because of how you're viewing that situation? And it goes in regards with the divorce situation for myself. I went through, and for a long time, I think it was about 14 months until I got to the point I saw myself and I had this story that I thought I wasn't worthy. And so that really did play a role, and it affected me and everything else in my life. And it's one of those painful things that because you haven't gone through the process, you haven't done what you needed to heal. And so that's the other thing when it comes to healing through the pain, through the trauma, through the emotional turmoil. Everybody heals at a different rate. Everybody heals differently. And so that's the thing. Like, you got a lot of people that are like, oh, you should be okay. You should be better. You shouldn't be upset about that. But we all heal differently. And so that's where you've got to find individuals that can hold space for you and be there for you and allow you to talk and express and allow you to do what you need to. And so that can be a tough thing, because a lot of times people aren't in that boat where they aren't even giving themselves space. And so because they haven't given themselves space, it's going to be hard for them to do that for other people. And so that's one of those things that you just got to look and say, okay, are you utilizing that setback to create your comeback, whichever direction that is for you? Because your comeback is part of your journey, it's part of your story, and that's your story. And so this is part of your hero journey, where you're going on that journey to go and confront the dragon, the demon, the mountain, whatever it is. You got to go confront it. You got to go slay it. And then you come back a different person because of overcoming the obstacle, overcoming the challenge, and growing and progressing. And so this is one of the things when it comes to the journey, because this is a journey. Your journey's taking place. Are you focused on the end point, the end result? Or are you paying attention and being mindful about the journey that you're on? Because the journey is what's going to allow you to grow. It's going to allow you to progress. But sometimes the journey is not easy. You're going to hit points in that journey. It's going to be rough. It's going to not be simple. And so that's part of your growth progress and your progression. And so when we get to the point of facing the obstacles, facing the challenges, facing whatever is getting put in our way to test us, because ultimately that test is there to help you level up. That test or that obstacle is there to help you with your growth and progression and to get to that next level. But too many people will come up against that obstacle, that challenge, and they'll have a slight slip up, they'll have a slight setback, and then they run away from it. Or when a challenge shows up, they end up trying to curtail it. They try to find a shortcut to get around it. And you can't shortcut it. You've got to go and climb it. You've got to run through it. You've got to cut the head off, whatever it is. Because if you don't go and face it and you're trying to shortcut, you're trying to circumvent it, you're ending up resisting what's there. And so what you resist is going to persist. And so if you're resisting that obstacle, if you're resisting the challenge that's there for your growth, it's going to persist. And until you go and face it head on, it's going to keep showing up. It's going to show up in different ways. And you're going to be like, what is going on here? Why does this keep showing up? And it's because it's there for you. It's for your growth and progression. So embrace it. Yeah, it's not, you can make it fun, because when you look at it, anything that is beautiful, anything worthwhile, it comes with the struggle, comes with the overcoming the obstacle and whatnot. And so you could be like, man, this can be true fun, because what can I learn from this? What can I bring from this? What can I come back with as a opportunity to overcome it? Or are you going to allow that obstacle to dictate and control your life? And so that's a choice that you have to make. Everything that's happening in life is a choice. And so it's up to you on what's going to take place and what you're going to do. And that's the tough thing, because sometimes we want people to make the choice for us. Sometimes we want people to make the decision for us. And because you didn't make that decision, and because that wasn't your solution to overcome that, since it's somebody else's, if you fall through with that and it doesn't work out, you're going to be pissed off. You're going to be very upset and mad because somebody else told you to do. And that's for them. You are you. And so this is a tough thing when people want to give advice, when we take the advice of others, and if it doesn't work out, it's like, why are you getting mad? It makes no sense. And so you've got to understand that's the advice of that person. And so maybe you go and look at the advice that's given to you, and maybe you reverse engineer it and you say, okay, this advice here is what was given. What can I take from it? What can I extract from it to create my own painting that I can end up creating my own masterpiece, my own work of art and whatnot? and how can I make that fit who I am? Because now it's fitting who you are, and you're working to solve whatever it is to meet who you are as an individual. And so it's one of those beautiful things that the setbacks that take place can either be a setback and hold you back, or you can utilize that to set up a comeback and go and do big things and show other people that it can be done. You've done it, so other people can do it. But we have to understand that for other people to do it, they have to understand this is their journey, and they have to be their own hero to get to that point of where they want to go and whatnot. So that was the first part. And then the next thing that came up here was, what changes would you need to make to become a person who makes the best out of a bad day, week, month, or year? And so think about that aspect. What do you need to do to work to have the best, make the best out of that bad day, the week, the month, the year? Because it's interesting when you think about 2020. We all experienced it. We all were in the same storm, different boats and whatnot, but we all experienced this year that was crazy. So we all had similar experiences and whatnot. But you'll see some people that end up looking and talking about 2020 as a year that really was great for them, really was outstanding, and it turned out awesome. And then you have other people that are so their focus is on the wrong thing, and so they're seeing all the negative. And then you hear, oh, 2020 was the worst year, 2020 was horrible. And so where your focus goes is what's going to expand. And so if you're focusing on the things that went wrong, if you're focusing on it was a bad year, you're going to find those different things that will answer those thoughts that you're having, that will agree with the ideas that you're having. And so it's a thing of work. It's a aspect that you've got to work on, because for whatever reason, because our brain, being cavemen growing up, our brain is still in this way of we're always looking for the danger. We're always being mindful about the danger. And the danger back in caveman time was you step out of your cave, you get stepped on, get squished, or end up getting torn apart by a T-Rex or a raptor or a big old pterodactyl. Even though that starts with a P. So now we got some crazy stuff there, but it's very interesting when you think about that. But now it's like our brain is still trying to protect us and is still looking for those danger things. And so that's where you look at it, and it goes back to business. When you start looking at, I want to do this for a business. I have this idea, but what could go wrong? Or you tell your friend that is a small dreamer or has given up on their own dreams, and they look at you and they're like, you're crazy for even trying that. So what makes you think you're gonna succeed? What makes you think it's gonna work out? And so you've got to be careful on who you're sharing your dreams with. And it's unique because there are a lot of different things that it's all based on our perception. And it's very unique because, like, the term or the word success, you ask 100 people what success means to them, you're going to get 100 different answers. But if you ask people what failure is, you're going to get the same 100 answers that are all the same. So it's so unique. And so sometimes we're utilizing words that are very subjective. And it was unique because I was going through, and there was a highlight point of self-confidence versus arrogance. And I look at that. That's one of those things that it's all based on perception. It's based on how you see the world and whatnot. Because I bring up the fact that one of our phrases that we utilize within Two Native Sons is helping individuals create a Zafuji lifestyle, and that's a term that we utilize within the business. And we tell people Zafuji it stands for zero fucks given. And that's one of those things that somebody could be like, man, that's very arrogant. Like, you just don't care about anything. Or somebody could be like, man, that's a lot of self-confidence that you can get to that point where you just don't care what people think. And so that is something that does take work. But it goes into the fact that somebody could hear that, and based on their perception, based on how they look at the verbiage, how they've been brought up and whatnot, it depends on that person. And so that's where it goes in line with the fact of you can't be fearful to repel the few, for the fact that if you are fearful to repel the few, you're going to miss out on attracting the many. And so that's one of the things that it goes along with the idea of Zafuji, zero fucks given. That piece that I'm not scared to repel people. Because if I'm fearful of that smaller group of individuals that probably don't align, that don't meet up and don't match with the mission and the vision, and if I'm scared to lose those individuals or push them away, I'm focusing on a smaller group when there's a lot larger group out here that I can focus on and put my energy towards that way instead of this smaller group. And when you look at that, if you're putting out the energy, which one's going to be more effective, focusing on the smaller group or looking at that bigger group? And it's one of those things that honestly, I was one of those people that was sometimes scared of what people thought. I was scared to stand up and speak and just share my thoughts for whatever reason. And so the change really has occurred because of the journey that I've been on and whatnot. And so it's one of those things that somebody has to start this. Somebody has to do this, because once somebody sees it being done, then they're like, man, I can do that too. And it gives them permission to be okay within them to do it. But that takes work. And so it's the flipping of the mindset piece. It's the flipping of how you see things. But I think it also comes into the regard of working a relationship. The biggest relationship we have to work on is the one with ourselves. And that ends up going and affecting everything else. So if you don't have a very good relationship with yourself, if you don't love yourself for who you are and whatnot, it impacts everything else because of what's taking place, what's happening and whatnot. That focus is getting put out. So if you don't see yourself as being worthy, or you don't love yourself, that energy gets put out. And so that's one of the things, it's the attraction piece. And so you end up attracting those thoughts. And if you're stacking the negative thoughts, that's what you're going to start attracting, is those different items that are not good for you, that are in the negative space and whatnot. And it's just one of those things to really think about it, really consider. And somebody need to hear it, I don't know. But ultimately, it was just kind of getting back to really press into talking about the live that we had done today with Dan Dreyfus and Pies and Grinder and what he's doing. And so, like I said, the window for the ending period of what Dan's doing is 7 p.m. tonight. I'll go back into the video and upload the URL, share that place for the video. And so Jasper's shared it quite a bit, and it's on my Facebook page. It's in the Two Native Sons page, but I'll share it in the comments too. So that way, if you're watching the video, it's already there. You just go click on it, takes you right to that video. You can watch it. And it's just a beautiful thing to come across individuals that are doing things bigger than themselves and finding ways to make a true impact in the lives of others. Because you got to think about it, what type of legacy are you creating? What type of impact are you creating? What legacy garden are you creating right now that you may never see the results of your actions? And so you never know how your actions are going to impact somebody else. But if you have any questions, you have a dream, a goal, an idea, something that is percolating in your mind or your spirit, you're like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't have any individuals that will sit there and support me. I have people that are like, yeah, let's go. What can we do to extract this out of you to bring it to life? Send myself a private message, send Patrick a private message. Other videos that have been done, go look at the comments, go reach out to them. There's more than enough to go around, but ultimately it's the fact of just giving that space to individuals to help extract whatever that is, because we're at a point right now where as individuals, we really truly suck at asking for help. And that may be something that you're like, why would he say that? Honestly, think about it. Like, as individuals, a lot of us truly do suck to ask for help. And it goes to the fact that it's not a sign of weakness to reach out and ask for help. It's actually a big, huge sign of strength, because there's times that you can only do so much. And so you've got to have that tribe. You've got to have that group of individuals that can be there for you, that surround you and lift you up and push you and extract that potential out of you that you don't even see. Because as individuals, we're so critical about ourselves that we don't see the potential a lot, because we're with ourselves 100% of the time. And so because we're with ourselves 100% of the time, if you have these negative stories, if you have these negative loops going on, and you're on this vicious hamster wheel and you're not breaking that loop, you'll never see the potential. It's true, because you're with yourself 100% of the time. And so it's that point that you've got to have people that bring a perspective outside of you that can let you see things differently. And so it goes into regards, if you've got questions, if there's things going on, don't hesitate to reach out. Send somebody a private message, or a text message, or a phone call, or go on Facebook, go through Messenger and hit the little phone button and make a call that way. It's great, because if you don't have somebody's phone number, but you have them on Facebook, there you go. There's a phone app right there. You hit the phone button, call this person up, and just have the conversation. So if you need that and you want to go that route, cool. Call me. I don't care. I'm one of those people that you can hit me up at any time of the day. And I'm there for you, just to be there for you, to help you out, just to sit there with you and just listen to you talk, listen to your story, see what's going, what do we need? What are you trying to accomplish and whatnot? So other than that, appreciate your guys' supports. Thank you for everybody that sees the bigger vision, sees the bigger dream. And for those individuals that are dreamers, I truly am grateful for those true dreamers and visionaries and people that are living the foodie lifestyle. So let's go do big things. I'll catch you guys later. I love you guys. Have a great night. Actually, it's early morning night now, so have a great Sunday. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.